goddess. If you don't know me, I'm still the grammar goddess. I've been on LinkedIn for, since October '05. That's what LinkedIn tells me. And my first 5 or 6 years, I did virtually nothing. I don't want anyone to think I was born knowing how to do this. Trust me on this, I was not. I got very little out of it, and I really didn't think LinkedIn worked. Then again, LinkedIn was also in its infancy in '05. It started in '03. So they hadn't gone to be the behemoth that they are today. But about in 2013, I must have written a couple of articles, and a guy named John White, MBA, MBA, which is good because John White's a very typical name, found me for some reason. He doesn't remember, and I don't remember. He pulled me into a small group he created and said, hey, you know a lot about American grammar, at least you look like you do, sort of. And why don't you write a bunch of articles and let people know what you're doing so that you can get more connections? All right, how many should I write? 5 a week. On American grammar? Are you kidding me? That's the dullest topic out there. But he persuaded me, and then I did different days for different things for 2 full years. 2 full years, 5 a week. I learned a lot more. I'll be telling you little bits in this program. But the bottom line is I got active, and I began to attract a few people who thought, oh, nobody else is talking about grammar. Who the heck talks about grammar? Good grief. And it is American grammar. It's highly specific. But I wasn't getting anywhere fast. And then suddenly a few people saw me and pulled me into groups and yada, yada. This morning, I looked at my LinkedIn profile, and I have broken the magic number of 30,000 followers. Wow. Which is stunning to me, only because now I'm going to later explain the difference between followers and connections, but the aggregate that LinkedIn shows you comprises both followers and first degree connections. I looked at the number, went, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Now I don't say that I don't care, but it was one of those, you hope you get somewhere. I teach this, and Pam knows it because I've taught a lot of other things, because I believe in this one concept: a rising tide lifts all boats. I don't see competition. I see other people in my world who've got things I don't know. I have things they don't know. And if we can pull it together, we are going to be magnificent. We're going to be able to help more people because we have a wider perspective. So for me, LinkedIn's given me 95% of my clients in the last 8 years. Think about that, 95% of my clients, because it's a business. Oh, it's supposed to be a business platform. There's an occasional picture of a young woman almost wearing clothing that just stops my heart, because I just want to strangle her and say, honey, what are you selling? Seriously, this is not appropriate on anything, but so be it. I love it because mostly I do learn. How can you not learn when you can touch people in countries 10,000 miles away, or the other side of America or somewhere? So this is why I teach it, because I think it's a marvelous thing. And it's also highly addictive. Warning, it can pull you in. I realize your lives are probably not exactly like mine. I'm single, I'm on my own. I have 2 little dogs, and I'm a lot older than you might think. I hope you don't think I'm this old. And I have a quieter life that I can control more. Having said that, I spend 7 or 8 hours a day on LinkedIn, broken up by an hour here, 12 minutes there. I do it deliberately. All I'm saying is I'm hoping that I can encourage you to spend a little more time, and I can show you how to do it to maximize that time on LinkedIn to pull in the people you're looking for. So it's a PowerPoint presentation, which I'm going to do the share screen in a moment. Please, Lord, it should work. We'll go through it. It's 2 halves. The first half talks about the physical parts of a LinkedIn profile. The banner at the top, the middle part, which contains your picture and your little write-up called the header, the headline. Then we're going to go into the about section and different sections that people aren't filling out properly or even at all. I don't think people know where to go with it. They see others, but they don't realize how easy it is in many respects to fill their own in. Then we take a 5-minute break so that Pam can look at the questions you might have for me in chat. Then we go into the I sound like your great Aunt Mary or any advice columnist you've ever met in your life, and help you to see how to succeed beyond the physical putting it up there. Where are the pitfalls? And oh boy, have I got a couple of slides to show you. No, it's not young women almost wearing clothing. Sorry, guys. But it is people who don't seem to understand that what you put out there gives us an idea of whether we want to link with you or not. So, fair? Now I can see you all now. I know I'm not going to see most of you once we get the slide share up, but this is my way of saying thank you for being here. I hope it helps. And if anyone needs any help beyond this, let me know. This is free. I do this completely free. I want people to learn how to do what people have given me the gift of. So Susan, let's go find share screen. It's green. Yes, it is. 1, 2, 3, share screen. And let's go find the cranberry. Come on, share. Come on. Yay, me. Oh, good. I even get to see a couple of folks. Great. So this was just the top piece of it. It just reminds me the date, the people, the whatevers. Thank you, because I don't know for certain if everyone here is part of the Cranberry County Country Chamber. I know you didn't have to be. If you're not, this is just a write-up that comes right from their page. I don't like to reinvent the wheel, but I think it's important to recognize that I get hosted for free and I get a lot of the background stuff done for me because this is not my strength. Trust me. So thank you, Pam. Thank you, Valerie, that you're not here yet, but you will be, I'm pretty sure. And thank you just everybody for saying, sure, we'll do this. Okay, start with this. I could not have answered a single thing on this page in 2005. You know why I was on LinkedIn? Because somebody said to me, Susan, you should go to that new thing called LinkedIn.
Yep, that's exactly what I did.
You know, it's like, oh, yay, whoopee. But I didn't know what I was supposed to do there. I looked at pieces and parts and I figured, well, all right, people are writing things. I guess I can write something, but I wasn't really sure. And I didn't know what I was going to gain. I think my first thought was clients, but that's not the best thing to be gaining. You can't just say, by the way, I need you all to come to work with me. It doesn't work that way. Who are you? What's your expertise? What's your unique selling proposition? I've been known as the grammar goddess for 25 years and people seem to think that's really kind of cool. But it gives you a hint of where you're going with me. I'm not an auto person. I'm not a ghost writer. I don't do that for anybody. I don't run a chamber of commerce. I'm a grammar person, American grammar. So that's a piece of me. What kinds of connections are you looking for? I just wanted, honestly, everyone, because I realized I wanted to help them learn. And having been in B&I for so many years back in the day and having been an area director, I know that you never know the next person and how that person's going to help you. No matter what they look like, sound like, feel like, doesn't matter. They could be your new best friend in terms of clients, customers, whatever. So I just wanted everybody to say, hey, Susan, can we connect and let's learn from each other? And I'm thinking, is everybody here on LinkedIn? I should have asked this question earlier, but if you're not, why not? And if you're even just on it and you're saying, yeah, well, I'm there.
Yeah.
At the end of this, I hope I'll encourage you to say, I've got to really be there. So I love my little guy up in the left-hand corner. I've used him on everything I can get away with. That's a Kilroy thing. But 2 parts. The profile itself, the physical parts, the banner, picture, headline, that's that very top stuff. That's the first thing we see. And if it's dull and missing and ugly and awful, and it's like you don't care, we don't care either. You need to push it out there. Then the 5 sections we will go over. I'm not going to talk about the bottom stuff. There's nothing tough to understand about the bottom stuff. But the about section, who are you? The feature that came in 2020, interesting piece, dashboard, activity, and experience. That's where I start getting really kind of heavy. But I want you to see them with examples. Now, I do use some of my own LinkedIn profile because there are some things I cannot show you on yours. We have our own private version that allows us to edit. So I can't show you what you should find without showing you what's on mine. But I have a lot of other people. Wait till you see some of these folks. By the way, I also have absolute permission for every one of these people to use them. I mean, I went to them and said, hey, Amy Brennan is a wonderful woman. She's never done the top bar. She says, I don't really care. I said, fine, Amy, do you mind if I put you up there with it? Because I need somebody I know and like and trust to have a banner that isn't created by you. You should absolutely go for it. That's the new default banner, meaning that's what LinkedIn gives you. You might see it as gray, you might see it as blue, and you might see it as green. And for all I know, next week, it could be pink. They changed their old one. Why? I have no idea, which is, you're going to hear that quite a few times. But it's there and it's space and it's changeable. And I'm certain that most of you've seen other people's LinkedIn without realizing they put their own time into making something up here that says, look at me, this represents me. Stay for a minute, look at me, see me. Please stay with me and get to know me. So it's free prime advertising space. Absolutely free. It's part of the free that you get for LinkedIn. The banner size needs to be, and I did mine originally in inches, but we're talking, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, 7 years ago. I never quite understood pixels, still don't. I know it's a measure, but I don't care. But Canva, a wonderful online platform, which gives you a lot of free stuff. You can go there. There's a link in this. They give you great LinkedIn templates, and they're the right size, which helps a lot. You can put it up. You can look at it yourself and think, oh, wait, I don't quite like that. Take it back down. Nothing sticks unless you save it. You can do it 100 times. I've changed mine several times, and you'll see it later. But I would advise you, first thing, don't let that be what people see. That looks like you don't care or you don't know, which isn't fair, but it is very real. The other thing I want you to know right now, there are something like 780 million LinkedIn profiles. You're fighting against a big red tide of people. Not all of them are doing anything. Probably a tenth of them are, but that's still a lot of people. So the banner, do something different. Kind of like Amy Blashka did. You don't have to like what I'm showing you, but I want you to see the potential and the possibilities. She took what she does, her company, Amy Blashka. She's a ghostwriter. I've worked on one of her books. I mean, I've worked on pretty much everybody you see in here. Why not thank them this way? But she's got a professional banner. She's got information up here. She has a new newsletter. I just found this a week ago. I changed the one I was using because I want to give you the latest that you'll see. With any luck, she hasn't changed it again. One never knows. But you've got something to at least stop you for a moment and think, do I care? You might care. Maybe you need somebody who writes articles for you on social media. She can do that. She's brilliant. If not, well, at least you've seen it. So a professional banner looks something like this. This has to be my all-time favorite. Can you read what's underneath the 2020 and the 1 star? Very boring and no toilet paper. Would not recommend. There's no reason you have to be dead serious on LinkedIn. I saw that. I don't even know Victoria. One of the few people here I've never actually met. We've Zoomed once. Cracked me up. I thought, damn it, woman, if I need what you're selling, I'm going to remember you. Because now in 2 or 3 years, I'm sure she'll change that. It won't be funny and relevant anymore. That's fine. I'll bet she'll come up with something else. So funny, yes. And by gosh, that kind of does sum up 2020 for those of us lucky enough to have not had misery. So, and she's from Belgium. You never know. Then we have my friend Rajat. He is a coach. He has people following him. How does he to suggest that? Oh, well, gee, look, all the people who follow him, at least a crowd of people. So this is what he wants to show. And I checked this morning, he still has the same one up because it's amazing how fast these things change. Now here's mine. And I put it up again because you can't see where the pencils are that you need to know when you look at your own, where you'd find them to do the changes you might want to make. I use red arrows, okay? I don't know what else to use to show you. On anyone's personal LinkedIn profile, when you look at your own, you're going to see the opportunity to make changes. You see a little pencil up there, you click on it. And the next thing shows you, change your banner. Okay, go change your banner. You can add something in right there. You can save it. You can look at it. You can back out and say, oh my God, I don't like what that looked like. That didn't work. Too big, too small. So you have one red pencil here, one pencil here. Then you have another one here that you have to click on to get 2 more. I did not design this. You click this, and then you'll be able to change your picture and your headline, but it won't be automatic. Click here, you get 2 more. 1 points to the picture and 1 points to the headline. And you can make the changes that you need to. And excuse me, but I have allergies like crazy. So the pencils, you'll find them on many different pages. That's the click to go and say, oh, I can make a change. You might look at something a day later and think, did I really write that? I don't like it at all. Fine, go change it. Nobody cares. So that's mine. And again, what I've got up here, I'm an editor. What does an editor do? She edits books. What books does she edit? Well, there are some of them, and that's what I put up 4 years ago. I had seen someone else's who did just the spines with the names. I get some of my best ideas, folks, from other people in my field. And I'll bet you can too, by just looking at it going, oh, wait. That's good. I can do it even better. I have a different way of doing it. And that's all I can say is take a look now. Be aware of what you see. Now, Melissa Hughes. Oh, you want to talk about somebody who knows what's up here? She scares me to death. She's wonderful. I did her second book, The Happier Hour with Einstein. Picture, and I'm putting it up there because it really should be of you, not your logo. We don't give a rat's rump about your logo. Sorry, kids, put it somewhere else. LinkedIn is about people working with people. And when I see a logo, I think you're missing a beat. I know maybe we don't like pictures of ourselves. I don't care. I don't like mine either. But a picture of you says, oh, that's who I would be talking with or working with. And it's a very personal thing. So I'd love to have you doing that. And do you see the little green dot under her face? That means she's online on LinkedIn. In case you see that, that means she's there. Oh, she was there at that moment. If you don't see it, it's very possible she's not currently at the moment signed into LinkedIn. So it should be you. Here's the big deal, which is the pain in the butt. I have an iPhone. Many of us have some phone. Probably all of us have some phone. On a desktop, which is how I create my material, I can't imagine doing it on one of these, to be honest with you. It would make me crazy. This is what you will see on a desktop. The picture placement is permanent until LinkedIn decides to change it again. It's there. So that if you're creating words behind it, we are never going to see the words. And even on an iPhone, I cannot answer for a tablet or any other phone. But whatever you look on it, it's permanent. You can't change the placement of the picture. So be careful, because the iPhone one is even worse. It's on the left, but it takes up a bigger area, which means on mine, let me go back, these two book covers, you cannot see on the iPhone. So be aware of it. Leave some space if you're comfortable. If you can push everything over to the right, you're going to have more visibility for people to see what you're trying to sell to them, to tell them about yourself. Now, pictures. Sandra Scott, one of my best buddies. We are currently working together on an anthology that another woman is organizing. It's interesting. You don't have to be serious. Remember I said that? This is Sandra. She's not serious. She's dead serious in her work, but she's not serious in her life. And so she decided this is a picture that represents who you would get if you work with her. You're going to get a brain, you're going to get a heart, you're going to get a lot of smarts, but you're also going to get a fun, interesting woman to work with if you need some help. She's really good in indie or self-publishing. And a lot of folks are going that route now. They're a little afraid of the big publishing houses, especially for a first book when no one knows you. I mean, they look at you and think, and you are who exactly? Please. So if you ever wanted to find out more about if it's a possibility for you, I can put you in touch with her, or you can keep this and go find her. But again, a fun picture, and that is part of the cover of one of her books. Works for me. Heather Younger. We're talking now the headline. This is the headline. These words here, these 3 lines. The arrow shows you where you're supposed to look. That's the headline. That's, you get 220 characters, including spaces and punctuation. It's not like you get just letters. Yeah, nice try. Don't get that. But now you get as much as 4 lines of copy. And it's a shame when I see people use maybe 80 words or 80 characters and they stop. Now, maybe that's all they want to say, but you have more space to do it. So it's 220. I'm hearing from a couple of people who know stuff I don't know about, that using this kind of a line, can you see where my cursor is? I hope, does that show when I do this at the bottom? Okay, good. You never know, Pam. I'm hearing that if you use something like that, if you're trying to go through the resume, ATS, whatever that's called, the automatic something, you may not get the response you're looking for. This isn't seen as useful, but this is not my resume. This is not a different need for me. You can certainly do it the way Sandra did, just comma, comma, comma kind of thing. Or you can do it the way Heather's doing it, comma, comma. I use these, make your own decision, but I'm not even sure that that's a real thing to worry about. Just somebody mentioned it recently and he knows his stuff. So again, she helps organizations create cultures of listening. She knows a whole lot about being empathetic, about really pulling people together in teams. Okay. Sarah Elkins, another one, wonderful. Notice the background here. When I saw hers about a month ago, I called her and I said, hey, Sarah, we're good buddies. This stuff right here, if Sarah Elkins was behind her face. Well, you know, that doesn't help when you can't see it. So she redid her banner, kept this left side empty, and gave you what she thought you should have. Again, she did a little bit more writing. You find out a little more, you decide, is she somebody I need to link with? So that's that very top section. It's powerful because it's the first thing we see, and not everybody's eager to read everything we write, but at least they get a sense of who are you? Are you somebody I need to know, want to know, would love to know? How does this impact me looking at LinkedIn profile? And I will say that you're going to get a lot more critical, not nasty, but critical about, you're going to see some and think, oh, hon, why did you do it that way? Why didn't you add something up here? It would have been so special. Way it goes. The about section, I think a lot of folks think this is a formal resume. It is not. It is just not meant to be. It's meant to be a story about you. Who are you? What are you? My strongest 2 points are this. A lot of folks write. Now, if I were to write this, Susan Rooks is I am Susan Rooks. I'm writing it as though I'm writing on somebody else. That's third person writing. No, please use the words I. It's okay. Even if you learned in grade school, you shouldn't start anything with I. This is about you. And I also say at the very beginning, find a question that really gets people saying, oh my gosh, really? What are your clients' pain points? What have they suffered through? What have they gone through that they said, I wish I'd known about that earlier, or I wish I'd had a better, people had told me more, or I wish that I had understood how to. What pain points do they, when they come to you, what do they say? I need help in. Okay, turn that around. Create a question or 2 or 3. Grab them in the first line of your about section. Pubic. It's a perfectly valid word. It's unlikely, unless you're writing about something medical, that you really meant that, or something sexual. You probably meant public, but sometimes the word sneaks in. Orgasm, okay, versus organism. Spell check won't help because you've spelled it correctly. And here's my tip that's not here. If you ever think you write a word that you never meant, don't just check for the one you want. Don't just check for public. You're going to find it all the way through your article. You need to check for the one you don't want. Type in, search for pubic. Type in, search for orgasm. And at least if it's there, it'll show up. And you think, oh my gosh, no, I don't want that word. So I hope that makes some sense, because searching for the one you want is useless. Talk about pain points. And again, there's a red arrow, which I've got pictures of you guys on the right side, but there's a red arrow. Click on the pencil to edit. I'm obsessed with editing mine. I want to make sure A, there are no typos. That would kill me. B, in the middle, I sometimes do make changes just based on whatever life throws at me. So that's the beginning of your about section. And then the rest of it, look, you have 2,600 characters. It's okay to tell a story. Featured is something that came in the end of 2019. The point of this is if you write articles. Not everyone writes articles. I'll tell you the difference between articles and posts later. But if you do write them, maybe they're on your website, maybe they're on a LinkedIn. You've got 2 or 3 or maybe a dozen that you think really show you. They show you very well. They showcase you. They just say, this is me. But I wrote them a year and a half ago. And it's unlikely that anyone who's looking at your LinkedIn profile or your website is going to go hunting for them. They don't know they exist. On LinkedIn profile, you can find yours with any luck, drag it up here, and let people see 2 or 3 that you say, this is me. This is what I want people to know about what I am or who I am. You don't have to fill it in. And if you don't, the word featured will not be on your LinkedIn profile with an empty space. I got that question the other day and I was like, I actually don't know, but no, it's not there. But if you want to, when you go to your own articles, you'll get a little pop-up that'll say, do you want to pull this up to your featured section? And you have an answer, yes or no. That's presuming you've written articles. If you haven't, don't worry about it. Dashboard. This is, again, behind the scenes. I could not show you yours. I can't see yours. No one can. These are private things. You've got who viewed your profile. I find that fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Check once a day or so and just see who, because you get a notification. People did right behind there. If you post anything, the post views is for the last single post you just put out on LinkedIn. Something I wrote on that day got 531 views, but I've been known to get several thousand. But at least you told me something. Somebody saw me. Good. Yay. Search appearances. That's for the last week. And when you click on it, you will see who looked for you. This is that first one. This is the who viewed your post, your dashboard. These are the posts that you did. No, I can't see over to the right-hand side, but it shows you kind of how it works. I have no idea what I would have done on January 11th to drive up the views that high. Did something right. Don't know. This is who viewed you. You can go and see who they are, their name, sometimes their company if they put it. Notice this Michael Wilson, whoever he might be, there's nothing there. I don't even bother. If the person on there isn't bothering to show me something, I don't care. But then you've got this guy named Patrick Anderson, who at least tells you who he is. Chris Shea, he's actually a friend, independent financial advisor. So these are things that we see quickly. And if it's empty, we move on. Why not? And the last section we go through here, the big one, activity. This is where you can either make or break your thing. If people get to the point where they like your banner, they like your about section, they like all of that stuff, the next section we see on your profile is something that looks like this. We see the last 4 comments you made. And if they're ugly, we're leaving. If they're not helping someone, it doesn't do you justice. So there are 3 people I want you to take note of for those who are writing. By the way, you're going to get this whole thing later in a PDF. But Jeff Young is one of the reasons I am successful. He is unbelievable. And he does the next level. I don't know if Pam or Valerie's reached out to him. I don't even know if I mentioned him to you. But he does the next level of LinkedIn. He'll sit with you doing this kind of thing and let people ask him questions. I can't imagine that. It scares me to death. What if you don't know? He does that for an hour free, the same thing. He is absolutely phenomenal. And he's the nice guy. He and I, we do a Zoom thing once a month, but he's got followers. But notice the positivity here. This is what you read from him. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much for the follow, Melissa. That's one of the things I like best about you, about LinkedIn, Curtis. Thank you so much, Susan. That happened to have been me. He's thanking, he's being positive, he's giving value. He's not just talking about himself, which so many do. This is the first 4 things we see. We can't not see it. This is how LinkedIn set it up, just so you know, except sometimes. This is what you might see. Now, granted, this person has 27 followers, so perhaps it's not wonderfully active. You might see what Sarah, and I can say the word Sarah, that I didn't cross her out because there are like millions of Sarahs. I did click on see all activity and there was nothing behind it, but there's no guarantee, and I don't understand LinkedIn on this, that they use this, in my viewpoint, randomly. If you're curious about the person, let's say there were 5,000 followers, your thought has to be, she must have done something. So click on it. Click on see all activity, and then you'll get all activity at the top. You'll see the words articles, you'll see posts, and you'll see documents if the person has done something. But there's absolutely no guarantee either way. I'm not sure I get this. Maybe it'll all go away in a month or 2. It's worth trying if you think that person's of value to you. Person number 2, you need to know John Asperian. He's in the UK, he's from Wales. The accent to just love. He is a data kind of guy. He does polls and he tries things out and he tells you later, this worked, this didn't work, this worked, this didn't work. He is an absolute hoot. One of the nicest guys I've ever met, and he just recently lost something like 85 pounds. This is clearly a very new man. He was much larger. He's very proud of it, and he should be because he looks good. He's also healthier, which I'm scared of when people don't do that. So he tells everybody, I just lost a whole bunch of weight. This is my new, he's got 6 slides. He wanted to know which one we like the best. Okay, John, I like them all, actually. John Asperian is somebody you might want to follow. He might be willing to link to you too if you want to actually connect. But he's worth it because what he knows, I learn every time. Every single time. And he's just such a nice guy. He really is. And by the way, do you know it on the left here? Again, you don't have to be totally serious on LinkedIn. I've got his book, Content DNA, and he's not a douche canoe. And if you want to know what that is, you're going to have to go look it up because I'm not going to spoil the surprise. He's funny. And he sends voice notes. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And I love listening to them. So this is Jillian, the 3rd person I want you to be aware of. She's the reason I finally figured out how to turn a PowerPoint slide into a slide deck on LinkedIn. When you click, it goes, dump, 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 dump. I didn't know how to do that. And instructions for me sometimes leave me going, yeah, I have no idea what you just wrote. None. She said, okay, Susan, go here, do this, do that. Do you see this? Yes. She walked me through it. She does a lot of video stuff. She's really excellent at learning all the techniques and putting videos out on LinkedIn. I haven't done that yet. I'm not sure I will. She is wonderful. She's now based in Las Vegas. She was in Israel for a year. She said, we got off the plane and within 2 weeks, the pandemic hit. We were in Israel for the next year. We went on a vacation. We couldn't get out. Thank God for Zoom and all the other international things you can do, because she finally got back about 6 weeks ago. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful woman. And she does, again, the things you read, all positive, all offering value. Now, do you see the word tag? I'll explain it later. Tag means you put somebody's name in with an @ symbol in front of it, and they get a notice from LinkedIn, mostly, that you have mentioned their name. So you go hurrying to see, ooh, what'd you say? What'd you say? What'd you say? Tagging the author of an article gives the author notification that you made nice noises. Don't you think the author's going to like you? Yeah, it's like, oh, thank you for whatever reason you tagged me. So I explain how to do that, I promise. I don't do anything. Here's what you don't do, lovely people. Here's what you don't do. Please don't do these things. Notice this top group, activity. I take out names. There's no way you're going to know who these people are. I'm not a troll. Appointment application, recruitment. It would be nice if somebody could spell that word. All 4 are about who? The person who just wrote the comment. They have nothing to do with the article that person was commenting on. Nothing. They are all about, look at me. I need you to come see what I do. Please don't do that. If you want that, write an article. This one, open to new connections, to new connections. Really? With 5 followers, I'm not sure how many people would have even wanted to connect. That's not offering value to the author of an article. That's all about what I want. It doesn't play well, folks. There are too many people doing it in a better way. And then please don't ever try to introduce yourself to a woman if you're a guy doing this. Please don't do that. Hi, dear. How are you doing? Nice meeting you here. First of all, learn to spell. Learn to use words correctly. Number 2, that is not a way to introduce yourself to anybody. I don't care. Woman to woman, man to man, man. I don't care. That we were not connection. That was an invitation for me to connect with him. What do you think I did? Do you see the word ignore here? Yeah. Bing. But I also, before I did that, took a screenshot, which is how you get all these things, because, and then I just call it out. Not smart. And the very bottom one, 8 followers, again, not knowing much. Congratulations to everyone who benefited from our best earned Bitcoin. 4 of those, that's not about the author. And I have a new, I used to say that yes to almost everybody who asked me to connect. If they're, let's see, Bitcoin, Forex, oil rigs, and there's about 3 other categories, I no longer say yes. This is what you get from, unfortunately, in certain categories, it seems to get more of, I'm going to make you want me what I do. Doesn't work. I see the faces of at least 3 people, so I'm sure you see what I say. Experience. Here's where a lot of people do honestly put a resume in. Again, you get a lot of space to use your experience. You can show all the companies you worked for, but be human. You don't have to put 1 million companies. I've put them back to, I don't know, maybe 2,000, but beyond that, nobody cares. But even resumes, I've got several resume writers in my client base, and they say that's changed so much. If you're getting to be stiff and formal, companies are going to just say, no, we don't want her. No, we don't want him. No, too much full of himself. They're much more personable now. This definitely needs to be personable. And Dennis Potoko is a marvelous guy. I'm on his staff of writers, of columnists or something. But again, standards of excellence, it's a time of a renaissance, pure unbridled wonder. I mean, he writes about the world and his viewpoints of it. So it's experience. That's one of his several lists. Put everything you can in there. It's fine. Let us know where you've been, what you've done. Just don't make it stiff. And then the last sections, and where am I doing on time? Just about right. Education, there's a whole group in the bottom, whatever you want it to be. I've seen people write, graduated with honors from the School of Hard Knocks. Fine. I mean, fine. I don't care what you put there. It really doesn't matter. What I go for are the volunteer experiences. Pam knows a little bit about me. I volunteer for things. I'm on 3 boards. I've been on as many as 5. I love the idea of helping out where I can. So I'm going to be drawn to people who filled out some of that, presuming the rest of it looks good. That will draw me in. You never know where you're going to find people who say, I want to link with you because I love the fact that you do that. Let's talk about, well, fine, let's do it. All of these, great. The difference between recommendations and skills and endorsements are little things you click next to. Is she skilled in this? Big whoop, click, 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 click. Cool. Recommendations mean somebody sat down and wrote something nice about you. Usually as a former client or somebody that works with you now. Then they send that, LinkedIn sends that to you to say, is this acceptable? Or do you want to change it? And if you want to change it, you change it and you send it back to the original person. Maybe you just had one thing you wanted to add or subtract, but recommendations don't go up on your profile without you being given a chance to see what somebody else wrote. And I think it's very nice if somebody writes one for you, if you're willing to write one back for them, if that's a goal that would make you happy, it would be good for you. So that's our first section, the physical components. Pam, do we have anything that on chat? No?
No, no one has put any questions. If you have any questions, feel free to add them to
Well,
the
I
chat.
didn't realize we were supposed to write them there during the
Oh.
presentation.
Okay, but
okay.
Bauer, go ahead. If you have something you
Go
want to
ahead.
ask, you can ask. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Whoever had a question.
Bauer did. If I'm saying your
I
name
know.
right.
I don't know why my dog's name came up on that.
Oh, all right. So what's your
Weird.
first name?
Oh,
It's Marlene.
Oh,
Do you
Marlene. Of
believe
course
that?
I knew that. No, I didn't.
I
Okay.
must have did something in the settings. I'm gonna have to go back and check it. I had a question, one on the explain the on the recommendations.
Yeah.
Can you if no one has written anything, can you copy what they wrote as far as like a small verbiage, like they said, oh, she did a great job on the event that I planned or whatever. Can you use that?
I would use it with this caveat. I would let them know, I'd like to use this on my LinkedIn profile because you wrote that about me, and remind them they will also be seen as having given it. Because
How do you,
I wouldn't
what
do
if
it
they're
without
not
permission.
on LinkedIn? What if it's just something that,
Anywhere else? Well, most people are on LinkedIn, but even if they're not, I would ask, is it okay if I put this up because I'm so pleased that you thought I did a good job, kind of thing?
yeah,
And see what they say. I think most people go, absolutely, sure.
yeah.
And if they
All right.
don't, well, then at least you avoided having somebody be upset.
Yep. And I had another question on the featured option.
Yeah.
Can you put media stories on there? If you haven't written anything, if it's written about you, is that kind of the same thing or not?
Not if it's not on your profile that you wrote it, I don't think.
Got it.
This is
Okay.
meant to be your stuff that you're trying to show, dragging forward from 2 or 3 years ago where you know you wrote it, but nobody else will ever find it.
I
Here's
did
another-
write it, but it doesn't pertain to my business.
Here's one other tip though. You can go out on Google and type things like Susan Rooks and then name the topic you think I wrote about, and Google will bring you right into LinkedIn on that topic that I wrote about. You can do that. So in case you ever want to find someone's article, you just need to know what that article looked like and you have no other way to do it. Of course, you're going to go to my website and do the same thing. Google can be helpful. So,
All right,
okay.
and then I have one more question.
Okay, sure.
On the Canva, is that in LinkedIn or is that a separate site altogether?
Canva is a separate site.
It
Just
is a
type
separate site.
Canva.com. Yep. I don't think it's org. I'm pretty sure it's com, but it's a separate site and it's dizzyingly wonderful. There's so much there, but they do have a section of LinkedIn banners.
Mhm.
Thank God. Now,
And I
if you
actually
any
have
questions-
my final question. You said that you would help us find time
Yeah.
on doing this because I'm maxed.
Yeah, well, I'll bet you are, and it's just a matter of priorities. And I'm not not trying to be nasty about that. It's really the reality of, will this pay off more than perhaps that other activity, whatever you might be doing? It's intensive in the beginning because if you haven't done a lot of it, I haven't seen anything, Marlene, but if you haven't done much, yes, it will be intensive. Pick your battle. Maybe don't do the banner immediately and do your about section. Pick the things
Yeah.
you think will draw us in. I believe in pictures up at the top
Yeah.
and stuff, but
Feel
I'm-
free to check it out and critique it.
I will as soon as I find out who you are. Marlene Souza, not
Oh,
yeah.
who changed that? Did you change that, Pam?
Pam probably just did.
Valerie
Wow, that's who I
I think
am.
Valerie did.
did.
Oh, Valerie
Cool.
did.
Thanks,
Valerie's
Val.
someone listening.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. And I'm
All right.
always available later. You're going to get
Okay.
an email from Pam or Valerie later with this. I'm going to ask her to include me in it just so I can see if I get an email from you guys, I'll know where it came from.
Right.
Here we go with part two.
Hold one other question we have that popped up in the chat. Susan, I don't mean to
That's okay.
cut in. Joanne wants to know, where is the recommendation part?
Bottom of your own LinkedIn profile page. Go to the bottom. Bottom. There's a whole section of all these things. Bottom. Yes,
There's
I don't
not a-
go over them because they're relatively easy.
I'm on my page right now. I don't have, there's no part that says recommendation part.
That's there
It's something
somewhere.
you have to add in.
Hold on.
Like I have experience and education, skills, accomplishments, interests, and then that's like it.
Then do you have any recommendations at all? I mean, if nobody's written one.
No, I don't. So
Oh,
so
interest.
and you have to, am I right in knowing that in order to get one, you have to connect with them on LinkedIn? Like some of my clients don't have LinkedIn accounts.
Interesting. Let
Uh,
me check on that and I'll get back
okay.
to you. I don't know.
Thank you. Okay.
it's always
I'm
been
trying to
there.
do it. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Because LinkedIn changes. And
And I
if
think-
nobody ever challenges something, I don't even know that. I'd have to go to the bottom to find out where the.
That could be
came
true,
from.
Susan, because I had a real hard time doing a recommendation for someone.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I had to like her first or follow her first or something.
You might
Yeah.
have to be connected, but that would make some sense too. That
Right,
why would you recommend Joe Blow over there that you've never met? That I
exactly.
don't know. But I'm gonna
But I
find
like
out.
what Marlene asked, like that you told her that you could actually get a like permission to put it on yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you can. Again, I'm gonna go check that whole thing out. You'll
Great.
know because I'll send you all an email.
sure, thank
And
you.
this is how we all learn, by the way, folks.
Mhm,
LinkedIn,
awesome.
like any technical platform, changes constantly. Let's just move on because, oh boy, there are moments. The top menu bar is one of those moments. This is the other half of it. This is the bar at the top you see when you're on your home page. And these are all the things when you see it in a minute. Your network, connecting, how to build your network, tagging, I promised you that, hashtags, thank you for something I actually use. And then a couple of thoughts on referrals. All right. If LinkedIn allows me to, I will be able to show this for the next month, this top part. Now on an iPhone or another phone, the information you see here is usually on the bottom of the screen, but on a computer for sure, this is where you find the top menu bar. They've changed the form of it 3 times in 2 weeks. I woke up one morning and I saw this. Okay. The search bar used to be a blue bar that went about 2 inches and just the word search in it, and you just clicked, and then the rest of them were there. Fine. All right, they changed. I woke up 3 days ago. We're back to this. I'm sure I'm going to wake up in 3 or 4 days and we're going to have the little blue bar again. But the information will stay the same. If you click search, you can search for a type of person or a company, specific ones by name. You can see, I mean, I've looked up editors just to see what they do because I'm curious to see what I can learn from them. You can find a great many different kinds of people if you want to. Heaven help you, probably find 18 million. The home, if you get all locked up in places, and by the way, right now, you can click either the LinkedIn blue thing or home and you get to home. That's new. The LinkedIn thing never used to go to home. For today, it does. You have to laugh, folks. As wonderful as LinkedIn is, there are moments. Your network, you can see under the network. I didn't use one of mine that had, but there's often a number there. That means you have people wanting to connect with you. It could be 1, it could be 20, whatever number. You really would do a good service to yourself to click on the full thing and see who they are, see if you care. But you'll find them there and hang on to your hat. Jobs. There are jobs you can apply for. They put up all kinds of things. I've never been able to find one that I thought I could do because a lot of it used to be in-house anyhow, and I do remote work with editing, but I've really got enough work for myself. But certainly click on it and see what LinkedIn thinks you would want based on what you put in there on your profile. It could be a hoot. I think I got one they wanted me to do if I wanted to be a meal server. Where they found that idea from my profile, I don't know. Messaging, those are from first degree connections, meaning the people that you said or someone said to you, can we connect? And I'll explain that again in a minute. These are private messages. Please, if you see a number there, click on it and see who wants to talk with you. Don't ignore that. That's not random. That's from your actual connections on LinkedIn. And it could be something really good like, hey, can we talk and find out if we can work together? Or, hey, I liked what I saw, whatever. Notifications is to me the big joke. You're going to find it 3 different ways on the next slide. But it's clicks and comments on your posts or others. It's a whole random group of different things that you might find. You're going to find numbers up there all the time. The word me means that's your profile, and you can click on it, and there's a drop-down menu of some ways you can change things. It's worth exploring to see if it'll help you at all. But if you click on it, and you've got that little, once you click on it, you get that little triangle, it'll drop down to a menu. Okay. Work, LinkedIn products, things they want to sell you. I love it. That's what they call work. Okay. Learning, courses. I do believe learning is restricted to people who have a paid account, and I do have one, but that's just my idea. The LinkedIn for a year was something like $200, and I thought, you know, because I get more value for myself, I get more people I can look at. They don't restrict me. I voted for it, but you get a ton of free stuff regardless. Okay, here's the notifications bar. God help us all. It's not enough that they had to put up here at the top the number 2 and tell me I have notifications. Then you sometimes see a blue new notifications bar. And then they've decided in their infinite wisdom that we also need to know that we have gotten new notifications. Dear heaven. If you see the blue new notifications bar, you've got to click on that because it won't help you to click on the one above. What can I say? But at least you know that somebody wants to let you know something. And the words under, see the words search, home, my network, jobs, all of those, they were missing for about 6 months. All you had were the icons, which made me frantic because somebody new to LinkedIn would not really know what they meant. Even with the words, you might not be sure, but without them, it's like, yeah, okay. They've come and gone 4 times in 7 weeks. Be warned. But at least you know now what they are. So yeah, if you see the blue, click there. If you don't see it, click there. Connecting. This is again a place I'm not sure I understand completely. When you see a number under someone's name on their profile and they say this number of followers, that includes their first degree connections and people who just followed them. My number of 30,000 does not mean I have 30,000 first degree connections. As it happens, I have something like 8,300. LinkedIn won't allow us, and I don't know why again, to have more than 30,000 first degree connections. Don't ask, I don't know. So the number 30,000 does not represent what many people think it does. It's still a great number. A lot of people are out there. But first degrees mean I went through the LinkedIn system and I sent one to Joanne Mello and I said, connect with me, please. And Joanne responded, of course she did, because we actually did that yesterday or the day before. Yes, thank you, or the other way around. It's a direct connection, like a first degree cousin, first family, first level cousin, whatever you call them. Second degrees are the first degree connections of your first degrees. So they're like kissing cousins. And they'll still see some of your stuff. First degrees are supposed to see whatever you publish, but with 780 million profiles and a lot of us actually doing things, you're not going to automatically get everything that you probably could. And then third degrees are first degree connections of your second degrees. I know, Marlene, I don't know either. God help
It
us.
sounds like who's on first, who's on second.
That's close, yeah. The most important ones for you to recognize are the first degree connections that you actually agreed we will be in touch, we're connected. And then followers are those folks, there could be several reasons for it. They're just going to follow you. First of all, if you have a follow button on yours, as I do, it seems to be less scary to just say, oh, I'll just follow her, than to say, I'll connect and I hope she agrees with me. It's an emotional thing. Some people don't even write any original content. So they have no particular reason to connect with you because there's nothing that they do that you would ever want to see. They don't put out content. Or they think because they heard that number 30,000, you can't possibly have any room for me. No, 30,000 and above means they have at least 30,000 combined firsts and followers. So on the next page, Collier and I are now first degree connections, but I had to find somebody I liked enough that still had a connect button. I spent a lot of time on LinkedIn, people. The connect button is what you click on if you find somebody you think, oh, I like this person. I would like to be connected to him or her. You click on it. You get a little message that said it would be better if you send something, a personal note, but you don't have to. You can simply say send without a personal note. But if you really, really want to, a personal note does make you look a little better than the average person. If they accept, LinkedIn does send you a message you are now connected to. If they click ignore, luckily, LinkedIn does not send you a message to say, by the way, they couldn't care less about you, or some version. They did that part very well. It would be horrible. So if you see the connect, click, send a message if you want, or you can just click message and send a message and say, I'd like to connect with you. But you won't always see that. You may see a follow button, as you'll see on mine. I've kept this one up, and I will for a long time. David Alto has changed his banner at least twice since I found this one. But to go back to that very first bit we talked about earlier, banners matter to me when I see them. And this one blew me away. He is a coach. Notice what he's got. He's got people running, obviously mentees. He likes to mentor. If he didn't have his hand under as the coach to help them, they might not make it over to success. I looked at that and thought, damn, That is good. Now, you may not agree with me, and that's okay. But I want you to see different versions of things you can do and not be restricted. I loved that. Now, he does happen to have something like 85,000 connections. So the follow button at least was fair. But you still can, if you thought you'd like to try, click on the more. And if it says drop a message, you can drop a message, and you never know. He may be in the same situation I am. I've got plenty of room for first degree connections, even though I have the follow button too. But that's how I've picked up a lot of people, by putting it there. Now, let me stay with this for 1 second. If you've only got 500 connections, please don't put the follow button. That's there's nobody there. If you've got 10 or 15,000 connections or followers, like the aggregate, and you'd like to encourage more people to just follow you, sure, change the button. But I'm going to say, don't do it before you have some look that it makes sense. That's your mother talking. Then we have building your network. Start a post or write an article. This is what you see on the home page. I know we're running a little bit behind on time. I apologize. If you want to start a post, that's the short form. That just keeps you right there, and you write your stuff, but you only have 1,300 characters. And that sounds like a lot until you've written to the bottom of it and it says you have exceeded them by 27. Oh, crap. Okay, I'll go back and take something out. Any picture you use on a post automatically goes on the bottom. I encourage you to find something that works with it. Go out and find free picture of Chamber of Commerce or something, because people are drawn to pictures. But here's what I learned to my horror. You cannot edit the picture once you publish a post. You can't delete the picture. You can't edit the picture. You can't change the picture. You have to delete the whole post and start again. I don't think it's fair. I've already gone to LinkedIn Help twice on that. Really? But so be it. Just a warning that the picture will go at the bottom, and pictures absolutely grab our attention. The other thing you can choose to do is to write an article. That's over here. You click. They're long form that takes you to a different screen. You could write, I don't encourage it, 8 pages. I don't think you should, but you could. There's always a space at the top for a picture. Good luck finding the exact size. It took me a long time to find it. I think you can find that on Canva. Put it up there. It should be something that's relevant. But you can also put pictures in your article, left, right, or center, which is kind of neat depending on what it is you're writing about. That's unlimited. I've written a bunch of them, mainly my Friday Fun Day ones, because I get a kick out of them myself with all the pictures in them, but whatever you want to write. And then the third one, the secret sauce. Karthik does write a lot of stuff. Don't get me wrong on this, but he writes more on the platform called Medium, and occasionally imports it over to LinkedIn. His choice. If you're not a writer, and if you don't want to write articles or even posts, that's fine. Comment on others, because people will still see you. You'll show up. Go back to the slides and figure out how you're going to make nice noises. But if you can like somebody's post, great. If you can comment on it, wonderful. You'll engage people, and even better, share something from time to time. And I'll show you how to do that in a moment. But always offer value to the author. Can you tell what my theme is on this? All right, tagging. I promised you. One of the better things to do when it works. The @ symbol goes right in front of someone's name. You're typing along and you write something like you see in the middle here. Love your article, comma, space, @ name, comma, especially the part where you finish out your sentence, whatever it is. When it's published, it will look like what you see here. And there will be a link to John's profile. He will then, with any luck, the algorithm will be playing fair that day, and he will get a note that says so-and-so mentioned you in a comment. Who doesn't go find, let me go see what she said. This is what it's supposed to look like. There should be a drop-down menu that gives you that name. I will tell you right now, should is a really good word there. More often than not, it works. Sometimes it doesn't. So what I sometimes do, I will add a few letters after. John White is a very common kind of name. It's like, Fred Smith. John White, comma, I keep typing MBA or whatever I know the next words might be. which allows the algorithm, oh, you meant that guy. Oh, okay. You might get that. Or I'll publish it with the at in front of it, save it, and go back and edit it. And sometimes I get lucky and it says, oh, I'm sorry. You meant just this guy. Yes, I did. Thank you so much. One caveat with tagging, you're going to see a lot of people who tag mobs, like 10, 15, 20, 25 people. Number one, I don't know how they got the time. Speaking of that, Marlene, because that takes a lot of work. Number two, what if you leave somebody out? I'm deadly serious here. Most of us have an 8-year-old kid who lives inside, who might not have been the most popular kid on the planet. And to be left out still hurts. Now, if it's somebody I've never heard of and I don't see my name, it's like, I don't know you either, buddy. We're good. If it's a really good friend and I literally do look, I don't see Susan Rooks, I have a moment of, okay, fine. That's as honest as I'm ever going to get in this thing. But it's not a good idea to tag a mob. You never know where you're going to leave a name out. And it's just simpler. I do tag people when I know they're interested. Melissa Hughes, who's the brain surgeon of all lives. Oh my God, she's so good. If I'm putting out an article that's on brain activity, I will tag her. And I will say, Melissa Hughes, you're going to love this article. It's all about you. It was like it was written for you. She gets noticed. I get noticed. She gets an article she might not have seen. And it's all good. I would do that for 2 or 3 people, but I wouldn't do it for a mob. Does that make some sense? Hopefully. The last thing on tagging, I didn't know this worked. I had no idea. I would get a notice that said so-and-so tagged you, and I'd look at the article and I would see nothing. Nothing. Guess what? If you have a picture and you've tagged somebody, it goes behind the picture and gets hidden. If you put a picture up, you only get like 5 seconds to see this, click anywhere to tag. Do you know how many times I did this before I could at least get my arrow in there? But you can then click on it, double click, and start tagging people. You can tag it, type at Pam Duzia, at Susan Rooks, at Marlene Souza, and they'll be behind it so people won't see it. But it allows you to see what the face of it is without worrying about the who. And I learned this from Mike O'Connor. God love Mike. I got a notice, Mike O'Connor tagged you. Mookie, this is what I saw. Okay, I'm reading the text. I'll see my name. I'm reading Mike, and I don't know what made me click the picture. And by golly, he tagged 8 or 10 of us, and there I am. So you can do that. And at least what you see is the picture and the idea that he's selling, not the people behind. Best idea ever. So last idea, honest. Hashtags, this little symbol. For us to find one of your articles on LinkedIn, we can't. If it's more than a month ago, it's hidden in the line. They do it by date, and it could be anywhere there. Yeah, you can go on Google and type Susan Rooks and type a name of an article and do that. But LinkedIn doesn't help you organize stuff. Hashtags are like file folders. So you create your own. Don't worry about capital letters because they're going to lowercase everything anyway. I have 4 that are mine. It doesn't mean you can't put something in there. You could hashtag that on one of yours, but those are where you would find 90% of my stuff that works for that. Rooks Rocks is my fun stuff. When I do my Friday Fun Day, it's always going into Rooks Rocks. That's my humor. And it's always going into not waiting till Friday fun because I do it every day. Grammar Goddess is the one I did that is for things that are about grammar or communication. I have another daily thing that's called That's a Word. It's a series. Every day I publish a new word that most people have never seen or heard of and don't want to. And it goes in, and I put that underneath it. That way, if you're wondering what else did she write on that topic, you click on the top, click That's a Word, hashtag, and you get to drop down of all the things I put into that hashtag. I am grateful they do that. Now you can also use, and I recommend it, ordinary ones, but you're going to be with a million other people. But then again, you never know who will see yours when they're looking for someone else's. There are 70 billion, I'm sure, hashtag things. Create your own. At least you have a place you can file them and you can go look yourself and think, did I put this word out before? I'll go back about 2 weeks. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, good. Put it out again. Put it out. We just about made it. Yeah, we started a little late, which is good because we were waiting for a few folks. I do value your thoughts and ideas. I'm only one person. I have my own ideas, my own thoughts, my own biases, my own wantings. I'd love to have you if you want to send me an email and just say, hey, this was really good. This wasn't good. Could you expand this? Could you shorten that? I don't really care. I need to hear from people who weren't familiar with LinkedIn or me or this whole process. And I would love to know what your best takeaway is. What helped you the most? And here's how you find me. The other reality, and Pam knows this is true, if somebody here is listening and you're not local, you can't join this chamber, but you're a part of another chamber, if you found value here, would you please let them know this is possible? And I do it for other civic groups for free. It could be a group of people that isn't a chamber, just another kind of group, a men's group, a women's group, something else that's civic. No, companies pay. Civic groups free. So here's how you find me. And I want to say thank you. And I'm going to get rid of can I stop the share screen thing? Okay, stop that so I can see who's still here with me. Oh, good, I have faces. Did this help?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I wish when I joined LinkedIn that they had done some kind of introduction like this.
Yeah.
Because I absolutely was told, oh, Marlene, you got to go on LinkedIn. And then I forget it. I left.
Yeah, I stayed. But I wasn't I was there, but like, so what? Yeah, this is why I do this piece of it, because it's the only piece I'm comfortable doing. I'm going to put, with your permission, Valerie and Pam, I'm going to put Jeff Young in touch with you two to let you know, because what he does is that major next section, which is sits there and lets you ask him questions live. I wouldn't do it if I were paid to do it. He is absolutely brilliant. And he's personable, and he knows that next level of deeper diving. For those folks who, for this is easy, but there are people that will say, I want to know more. This is about the limit of what I can teach comfortably, but I learn from them all the time. And he's in Ohio, so it's not that big of a difference. So somebody really good to know. Thank you. So from Carrie, thank you. Yeah, I get a kick out of it. I get a kick out of LinkedIn. I've got most of my clients from it, and I learn so much from people. That's the value for me. So thank you all for being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, Denise, I didn't see you earlier. Yes, now that I see the face and the name together. Yeah, absolutely. The other thing I was telling Pam earlier, I've put out I've almost finished creating Punctuate Like a Pro for business people, a 1 hour, this kind of thing on American style punctuation. Yes, it has a couple of quizzes. Yes, it has some stuff you might not know. So we're going to talk about the possibility. If that sounds of any interest to you, you might want to let them know, because this is something I used to teach. Well, we did a couple hours, but it's a 1 hour, pure and simple, commas, colons, and dashes, oh my, kind of thing.
Oh my.
Susan,
yeah.
we did that last year and I took it, and I always consider myself very good at grammar. I learned a few things. Unbelievable.
But Valerie, if we don't know, we don't know.
Yeah.
Unless somebody challenges and says, no, sweetie, that's not what a semicolon does. Nice try. No, nice try.
I have to say, I think I hold the record on the longest run-on sentence ever.
Oh, guilty for that too.
Yeah.
I get my letters back from my sister, who is a professor in English literature, and it kills me.
And again, Marlene, we do our best. We're all smart in something. Eventually, we're all smart in a lot of things. It's just not always the same things. That's fine.
Nope.
I learned from everybody else. I couldn't run a chamber if I were paid to. I have no idea what you got. I mean, I know what you do, but I don't know what you do. I'm grateful to be a part of it. Very grateful. And this is, by the way, the one I am a member of, just so everybody knows. This has been my home for, I don't know, a few years. So thank you all very, very much.
Thank you, Susan.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Susan.
Susan.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Stay well, be well, and you'll get this. I'm going to turn this one now into a PDF and send it off to you, Pam.
Yes, okay. And
Thank
we have
you all.
recorded this, so if you need to, if you would like a copy, just let me know, and we'll try to get it, linked onto our website as well. So
Okay.
thank you, Susan, as always, entertaining and informative.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good day, everyone.
You too.
Bye, Bob.
Bye.